right now. All right. So we open up Scratch, and I'm going to go up here to File and go to My Stuff, and hopefully the little project we worked on last time is still there. Let's see. There it is. Untitled 4. I think I used, yeah, that's right. I remember I used Watermelon for this class. All right, cool. So let's see. While you're doing that, I'm going to go back through here. All right. So last class we talked about how the sequence of a program works, how it works in generally. Really, Jacob? Oh, okay. Just create a new file and just go ahead and bring in a trampoline and a ball, Jacob. Just create a new thing, and then, well, I don't know why your backgrounds are not deleting. We talked about, let's see, sequence of program, how they work in a step-by-step operation. We talked a little bit more about binary. I'll go more into that when we get into the electronics side of things. And we got to, I think we got to the if-then statement, right? Let me see. Did we get to if-thens? Yeah, looks like we did. All right, cool. Oh, I'm on the wrong one. That's why stuff's looking strange to me. There should be some music playing in the background when I do these. All right. If then, all right, backgrounds. We did that. All right, we started working on Pong. Open Scratch from the last time. If you had it, I told Jacob to open up a new one because he's having, for some reason, he can't delete backgrounds. I'm not sure why. I've never had that problem with Scratch. Okay, there we go. So, let's see, code. Okay, so where did we get? So we got if watermelon. So got that. Did we get to? We did not. Okay. So if you're using the same code as last time, go to the trampoline, and we're going to take out this if statement over here. Take out the if touching watermelon. Say ouch. And what did I say ouch was? Ouch is a particular name of a certain data type. Anybody remember? Good job, Tyson. Cats like to play with it. Yes, ma'am, Chelsea.
Sorry, I'm really tired and I'm hitting buttons by accident. I was trying to get my chat box up in strings.
Yep, string, correct. Good job. Yeah, I do that too. I get tired of hit buttons. Actually, I thought that's kind of weird. But hey, to each your own. Yes, it's a string, correct. And we got to, let's see. So if I hit play, let's see, my watermelon bounces around from side to side, but just bouncing on the edge here. It's not interacting with the trampoline. So that is going to be the first thing we're going to go ahead and do. So I'm going to go ahead and hit stop. Now, for this, there's several different ways of doing it. All right, and that's one thing I love about coding is you take me, you take my friend Thomas, and you take my who's my other coder, Chris. You can take the same problem, and all three of us will do it three different ways. But for right now, we are stuck doing it my way. So if on edge bounce, so now I want the watermelon, to interact with the trampoline. So that's actually very simple to what we did, or very simple. Simple too, but similar to what we did earlier. We're going to take a if statement, and I am going to put it inside the forever loop. But if it's inside the forever loop, make sure you take out the if on edge and move 10 steps part. Take those out and put it outside of the if statement. All right, it won't work correctly if these two lines here, the if on edge bounce and move 10 steps, is inside the if statement. All right, and if statements work by conditionals. They are also known as a conditional statement. If certain condition happens, do something in the code. So first up, I want it to interact with the trampoline. So I'm going to go to if, I think it's sensing. Yep. I'm going to go to sensing in the toolbar, in the middle toolbar, and you have a thing there that says touching. If touching, and then I'm going to make it say trampoline. So again, make sure you're coding for your ball or whatever. I'm using a watermelon because I'm not even going to follow my own fascist rules. I'll break my own. If touching trampoline, then we're going to do something. So what is the thing that we wanted to do? Well, it's doing a few things already. And that's the kind of the thing you got to look at. I'll tell it to go to a certain location. That's just a starting point, or a some of my students like to call it a spawning point. The other thing we're telling it to do is we're telling it to point in direction. We're making it go that little 45-degree angle. Well, let's change that up a little bit. First, we have to tell it to stop doing that, because when it hits the trampoline, we want it to interact in a different way. So I'm going to motion, and I can't remember. I can't remember which one I used. If it's somebody just texted me. All right, they'll be all right. If no, not that. I want to make sure I'm using the right one. Point in direction. That's it. All right. Point in direction. So I'm using one point in direction 45 here, and now I am going to point it up. So it's going down. Now I'm making it point up. All right. So every time it hits the trampoline, it's going to point up. That's the whole point of that whole 0 degrees thing. Great slide. I think it's move. Do you remember if it's move 15 or if it's turn 15? I'm in Space Invaders again. Give me 1 second, y'all. It's been a long day. Yeah. Hello. Stuff. Ignoring stuff. Okay, here we go. Pointing direction 0, turn 15 degrees. That's what I was thinking it was. I wasn't quite sure. All right. And then turn in direction, or turn in 15 degrees. It does not matter which 15 degrees you use for right now, because we are just going to change it. And now if you have it set up like this, if touching trampoline, turn 15 degrees, or turn direction up. So pointing direction. So I'm pointing it up, and then I'm turning it 15 degrees. So hit play. Let's see. Oops, I missed. Wow, I'm horrible. There it is. And now my trampoline is interacting with my watermelon. All right. Now, when I hit this trampoline and say I miss, Does it turn 45 degrees? Okay, I saw your comment, Mr. J. Give me 1 second. So okay, you should be choosing your your ball, whatever ball you decide to use, and then that's where you put your if touching statement. If touching trampoline. If you don't see trampoline, I think you have to hit the little down arrow thing. Let's see, where are you, Jacob? Is that working for you, Jacob?
Yeah.
Oh, I meant Jay. I'm sorry. Wrong person. Jay, yes. I'm sorry, Jay. Jay, you're unmuted, so you can talk.
Okay. My microphone's not really working.
I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, it only gives me the option to if touching edge, but the trampoline's not really showing up right now, and
Do you
I
have
might have it figured out though.
you do have the trampoline in your sprites down here though, correct?
Yeah, I do have the trampoline in the sprites.
Okay. Make sure you're on the ball.
Okay, now it's showing up. I got it.
Okay, awesome. Okay. So, if touching trampoline, we're telling you to point up, we're telling you to turn 15 degrees, and then it still moves 10 steps. Now, it does not access this 45 degrees here because this is only on the start command. Once it gets past this line of code here, that one there, it just, wow, it's a horrible arrow. Once it gets past that, that's not making it worse. I'm going to stop now. Once it gets past this line of code here, it just stays trapped in this loop because, well, we told it to go on forever. That gets to be a key point when you're talking about stuff like global variables and, global variables, statics, functions, stuff like that. Knowing that what's outside of a loop and knowing what's inside of a loop. So we got to move 10 steps, if on edge, bounce. Now we are going to do, so I'm going to change things up here a little bit. We're going to make this a little bit more interesting. Give me 1 second to think about how I'm going to do this. First up, let me raise your hands. Is everybody interacting with their trampoline and watermelon? Is that a true statement? Tyson? Put your hand up, sir. That way you don't have to type. Awesome. All right. Well, not now. All right, put the hands down. All right, cool. So now I'm going to change this up here a little bit, just cause make it a little bit more interesting. If on edge bounce. Okay, here's how we're going to do this. This one slide here, I do want to talk about this one because I don't like it. If then statements tell your program to execute a certain section of code only if the expression evaluates to be true. That's not necessarily true. You can make it so that a statement is false inside your if statement and then it executes. That is a thing to do, a possibility. So you just got to be careful with the way, that's why I really don't like programmers, the way they word things sometimes. And I do realize the irony of me saying I don't like programmers. Let's do the random first, then I'll do the interesting part. All right. So right now it's set to a certain degrees, and you can figure out the pattern. It's really simple. It stops, it points up, and then it turns 15 degrees, and it moves. That's not a very fun game. You'll figure out that pretty quickly. So let's change that up a little bit. So here in the turn 15 degrees, I am going to grab this pick random number here. All right, pick random number. And I'm going to slap that in the middle there. So you're not limited to putting just numbers in here. You can actually put different styles of operators here. And here I'm just using the random variable. Now, even though it says random, there's no such thing as random to a computer. And depending on which physics teacher or philosophy teacher you listen to, there's no such thing as random in the universe either, but that's a matter for debate and quantum mechanics. So turn random 1 to 10 degrees. That doesn't make any sense. So let's make it a little bit more interesting. Let's make it from let's make it from. Sorry about that. Just had to crack my knuckles there. How did we do that? 160 to 200. Yeah, sounds good. Let's try that. So it's turned 180 degrees. It's pointing up. So yeah, be 160. Yeah, let's do 160 to 200. I don't feel like doing trig right now. I'm tired. All right, hit play, and then hopefully, well, now it just really messed up. What happened there? I know why. Yeah, I know it doesn't work. I just found out because we turned it 180 degrees, so it's pointed up. So actually, I do have to do some slight figuring. We'll do it negative 30 to 30. Let's try it. Let's see what happens there. There it is. Yep. Got the orientation changes. So yeah, negative 30 to 30 degrees. So actually, let's do 30. I don't know if it's that 30 degrees. Yeah, it is degrees. So let's do 135. No. Yeah. 135 to 30 degrees. Let's try that. Let's see what happens there. Well, that just made it really interesting. Yep, that's not going to work. All right. I lied. I do that on accident sometimes. We'll keep it back at negative 30. All right, cool. So the randomness in computer, or the random variables becomes an important part when you're doing stuff like if you're writing a program for theoretical algebra or theoretical math and stuff like that. You want to plug your random numbers, or even experiment when you write up experimental data, stuff like that. But however, even with that in mind, like it's used a lot now. It's used a lot in gaming too, as far as like if you play a side game or whatever. If you play Red Dead Redemption and you go into the saloon and you play poker, there's a random variable in there somewhere. But there is no such thing as random. There's always a pattern to it, depending on what seed you do. Negative 80 to 80 worked well. Mr. Wade just told me. I beat all the games, but yeah, Red Dead Redemption is a good game. That's why I picked it. Or Fallout, if you're a Fallout guy. All right. So we made the ball interact with the paddle. We've made it turn into a random number, or a random degree when it hits the paddle. So now here's the part where I'm going to kind of change things up a little bit, make it a little bit more interesting. Hit data on your tab. Hit data, hit make a variable, and we're going to call it speed. All right, make a variable, and we're going to call it speed. Now, what a variable is, or in this case, I'm talking about an int or an integer or an int. It's just like x. It's like the variable of x when you do a math equation. You can move x all around. You can change x however many times you want to. It's still going to be x. A variable or an integer is just a word that we're associating with a number. That's all it is. And we can change that number however we want to. So we're going to set speed. And in the first part of the game, we're going to go ahead and set the speed to a certain number. So set speed to, make sure it's outside of that forever loop, because I want this to happen when the game starts. And we're going to make it set to 10. Make it set to 10. And then inside the if statement that you just created, the if touching trampoline, and it does not matter where you put it, but just put a if touching trampoline, change speed by 1. All right, so we set it to, so up here in this little area here, above the set speed, speed is no value whatsoever. Here we're setting the speed to 10, and if it's touching trampoline, we're changing it to 1. However, we're not doing anything with it yet because we didn't put it into, we didn't put it in the, I guess function would be the word. So here I'm going to grab this speed up here, the actual word speed, that none of this set or show or hide, none of that. Just grab speed, and we're going to put it in move speed steps. So until it hits the trampoline, the speed is still 10. And once it hits the trampoline, it increases by 1. Thereby, as the game progresses, it'll constantly get harder and harder. And you can even see the numbers changing up there. All right? And yes, all my students tend to get it going to some supersonic speed. All right. Stop. And now I'm going to go back to the slides because I forgot what the command was again. Good idea, Wade. I like that idea. We're going to do that. So, I like that idea Mr. Wade just gave. All right, so here, we're going to change this thing up again a little bit too. So just grab in here where we said set speed 210, instead of setting it to 10, we'll set it from, pick a number from 1 to 10. That way, just changes it up a little bit. That way we get to use random twice. However, if you, again, like I said, if you continue to play this, you'll notice a pattern to the number that it picks. It will probably, the lower range of the numbers, the less randomness it has, which kind of makes sense because you don't have that many numbers to choose from. Cool, good idea, Wade. So here, pick random, touching, move 10 stats, pick random. You can. I didn't really cover play sound because it gets annoying on my end when I unmute you. But you can hit sound, play sound, and there's options to pick from, and you can even record your own sound. But if I wanted to, so if touching trampoline, I can make it play some sound if I wanted to. I'm not going to do that on my end just because it gets really annoying and I don't like it. Yeah, all right. So now if you really want to make a game in Sprite and Scratch, you need to know how to draw your own creations. So that's what we're going to do next. We're going to take in your Sprite window, your new Sprite, down here, you'll see a little paintbrush. If you click on that, go ahead and click red. Click the rectangle button, and then over here in this little window, make the biggest rectangle you can. All right, you usually have to stretch it out a little bit. And then fill it in with red too. So make it a little red square. And let's go back to my scripts. So this red bar that you have created or that you are creating, that's going to be our dead zone. So that's going to be the game over side. That's going to be where you don't want the watermelon or the ball to interact. It is up there. There we go. Something like that. So, actually, I'm not going to tell you all how to do this. There's several different ways of doing this. What I want you to do is take a few minutes here to make it so that when the watermelon hits that red bar, it stops. So that's your objective, your mission, should you choose to accept it. Your computer will self-destruct in 10 seconds. I'm kidding about that, by the way. I was using a reference. You are correct, Mr. Judge. You and I are going to get along just fine. Can I show how to draw it, Mr. Tyson? Okay. So go to your new sprite window, or your new sprite. Hit the paint new sprite. Go ahead and select red in your colors. Just draw a rectangle in this little checkered board area looking thingamajigger there. All right, and then stretch it out. Stretch it out. And then you hit the paint bucket and fill it in, just like that. Easy peasy. Awesome. Celsi thinks she has it. Mr. Josh turned his ball into a rectangle for some reason. Which I am completely okay with. Now, Josh, again, I need to make a point here. There's a little bit of freedom here. I don't really care too much how you do it. There's going to be times where I'm going to be very specific for a very specific reason. So just keep that in mind. Not during Scratch, but when we get to the other coding stuff. Can I see? I made the rectangle. Can I see the code? Oh, the code for the ball. I haven't done the code for the ball. I want you to try to figure it out real quick. Raise your hands if you think you have it. No, to be clear, but here, Josh, I'm fine with you can make it do whatever you want to here. I don't. It's not certain concepts I do want you to understand, but it's not going to affect the overall, I think, learning process of the game if you make your ball a rectangle. Oh, I just got the kit that y'all have. Oh, that thing is really cool. Y'all got some cool stuff. I'm looking forward to that. Wait, so you just want to see the... I'm sorry, Tyson. Did you want to see this here? I thought you were looking for how to do it. My bad. I'm sorry. I did not understand what you were asking me, dude. How you coming, Mr. Roseman? Mr. Wade? Cool. I need to wait. I need to give Tyson a second here. Tyson, let me know when you have this here. And then I need to move on after that. I'm kind of jealous myself. See, I want to study astronomy instead of stupid relativity. All right, Mr. Jacobs being the anarchist over there, he made it. Well, he mad it. He made it change the speed if he missed the ball. I went to the beach this past weekend. I had to explain that to some kid that uh, the moon is partially responsible for the reason we have waves at the beach. You didn't know that, though, correct? Not surprising you. A little bit. He didn't understand how the moon way up there could affect the waves way down here. I don't think I really understand it, but I just know that's what it does. Cool, Mr. Roseman. Tyson, do you have this section here, brother? All right. Give me a hands up when you have this, and then I do need to move on. Is that going too fast, Tyson? You know what? 20 worthless internet points for being honest. He said he wasn't paying attention. All right. So I can't remember how I did it. Let me look at this real quick. If Okay. So several different ways of doing this. I am on the ball. So here I'm gonna grab this and that. I'm just. Let me explain it. Then I'll do it. Let me do it. Then I'll explain it. Sometimes that's easier. If here. So I am going to need an if statement. If touching. Now I can make it so it's if touching color. If color blank is touching another thing, I can do all kinds of little different ways here. But I'm gonna go with if touching. Nope, I'm gonna go with if. Well, if touching color. Yeah, I'm gonna go with if touching color. If touching color red, and the reason I click, if I click here and here, it's gonna pick whatever color that I selected. But I'm gonna click here and here, touching red. If touching red, I think it's what, control and stop all. Now you could have done it. There's several different ways of doing this now. First, I'm gonna make sure that this is working. Wow, that's so slow. It did not work. Something didn't go right. Let me get rid of that. I think that's messing me up. If touching sprite 1, stop all. Let's see if that one works. Nope, didn't work. All right, fine then. I'll do it my own way. Actually, wait. I wonder if it's cause. That's why. That's why I'm retarded. I didn't put it inside the forever loop. There we go. Yeah, I saw that, Jacob. I was trying to do 2 loops to explain that this loop runs simultaneously to that one, but that did not work out too well for me. And there it goes. Now it stops. Now I can't even move the paddle. I can't even do anything. All right. So that's pretty much how much time I got. Okay. If stop all. Wow, y'all got a lot further than the last class. All right. Let's switch this up a little bit. Instead, so this time I'm gonna give y'all another simple little 2 if statements, maybe, yeah, 2. If I want you to make it so that the trampoline, instead of interacting with the mouse, make it interact with the arrow keys. Instead of it interacting with the mouse, make it interact with the left and right arrow keys. Hands are, let me put hands down. See, I think I asked this before, but has anybody took in calculus yet? What about physics? Any physics? Oh. What's up, Tyson?
I've accidentally done this 3 or 4 times, but when I'm trying to delete one block, like where it says on your screen point in direction 0, if I try deleting that whole block, it deletes the whole section. How do I I accidentally placed down the wrong block, how do I delete just that block and not the whole thing?
So you want to delete this one here?
Yeah, if I had to delete it, because I messed up.
I would separate it.
How do you separate it? I've tried
Like that.
separate.
Did you see what I did there?
You pulled down from it? Okay.
Well, I pulled it out, and then pull it down.
Okay. Okay, it works. I just want to...
Awesome, Mr. Wade. So is only Tyson here is the only one that's ever taken the physics class? None of y'all else have? Nobody else has? Okay. Pre-cal counts. I'll count pre-cal. Okay. So I'm trying to, with the electronics, when we get into electronics, because that's my field, I'm trying to see how in depth I can probably get with y'all to actually show y'all the physics and the science behind what we're doing. I have no idea. I've not been playing. I think in the last class I got it to like 32. All right. All right. Let's do the arrow key stay here. So first up, I want just the trampoline to interact with the arrow key. So of course I'm going to have to interact with the trampoline. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this set X to mouse. Now remember, anything over here is not interacting with the trampoline. Actually, you know what? Just to be funny, I'm going to put that one back in there. So now every time it hits the watermelon, it'll say ouch. All right. So there's in Scratch, there's probably only one way I can really think of doing this. Let me see, sir. I think you can only do it one way. Yep, you can only do it one way. All right. So, yep, exactly. So we're going to use two if statements. So I want it to work one way when it hits one arrow key, and I want it to work another way when it hits another arrow key. So I just go ahead and slap in my two if statements. So if two if statements, now I need the key pressed function here. So I'm going to go ahead and slap that in there, and go ahead and slap that in there. Whoops. So if left arrow, if right arrow. Now I need motion. And here I do have different. Nah, it won't work that way if I do it. All right. So here I'm going to put two change X's by. Change X by because I want to go left or right. Remember, this is just a X-Y diagram. Hopefully, all of you have seen an X and Y diagram at some point in time. All right. If not, I'm going to send a letter to your school. So, but however, both ways are getting changed by 10. So I'm going to make one of them negative. It's probably going to be the left arrow key. -10. And hit play, and let's see what happens. There we go. And now I'm using just my arrow keys here. And now it's saying ouch. But however, that little delay in there will mess me up. So I'm going to make that say 0.25 seconds. All right. So I've got a few different things going on, and we got the so we made it so that the trampoline can move by the X and Y. We got the random variables. We got the watermelon moving at a certain direction. When it hits the trampoline, it bounces either way. So let's see how. I'm not going to do that. That one takes way too long. Pretty much, you can take the exact same concept and make it a two-player game. You just need a different set of codes here and different set of codes here and move it in the opposite direction. All right, all of y'all are pretty smart kids. Y'all can probably figure it out. I'm not going to go through with that. Let me see. Oh, yes, editing your sprite. That's pretty cool. But we're going to move on here. Got 1049 here. All right. Give me a second. I'm going to let this load up. Hey, there's that formula I was looking for. What was I going to say? All right, Mr. Dubik's going to be putting some icons on Edmodo. Make sure y'all get those for next class for the Space Invaders. This allows you, we'll start using projectiles and, well, little space aliens because, that's what you're supposed to do with aliens when they come and shoot them. And stuff like that. Let's see, what else do I want to do with this? I don't think he has it on Edmodo yet. Check Sunday for the Edmodo posting of those downloads that you're just supposed to be doing. Let's do this. Let's make the last part here. This last part be a little bit interesting. Make it a game over screen. So when this gets hit, when the watermelon or ball hits this, this would be tricky, or a little bit tricky. When the watermelon hits this, I want you to make another screen pop up that says game over. But make sure you also, the only thing you see is the game over screen. I don't want to see anything else on the screen other than the game over. Oh, Mr. Roseman, dadgummit. All right. Mr. Roseman asked how to get to Edmodo. Now, some of my students last semester, I understand, had problems with Edmodo, but that's what I'm stuck using. So we're going to keep using it. Edmodo, and I don't remember the code, so I'm going to have to go look it up. Alright, scroll down. So get through Edmodo by just typing in Edmodo into Google, and it's always your first selection. If you do not have a password or whatever you want to have to, make sure you select students. And then when you log in, you're going to use, where is it? I don't know the student side. There's a thing to select all groups. Let me try this. This is the code you're going to need, Mr. Roseman and everybody. Copy, paste. There we go. Let me see if that works. Yep, that works. Where is the up here maybe? Nope, that didn't work. The student side has a little bit different stuff. There's a class code on the student side, Mr. Jacob. I'm not sure where it's at. And you just put in that information and it pops up. Attached to post. Limitations. What do you mean you can stay in that one, Mr. Tyson. All the updates get to the same area. Oh, that's not what I want. I already have the group. I don't know how to send it to you. You know what? I need to log in on the student side. I'll figure it out later. All right. How much time I got? 5 more minutes. Mr. Roseman, you're a smart guy. I'm sure you can figure it out. You got the code, though, right? Does everybody have the code? Is everybody signed up? Let me put hands down. Who has already signed up for the Edmodo class? All right, if you have not signed up, we do need you to do that because we will be asking you and telling you to download certain things before class. If you don't get it, I'm sure I can figure something out. I always do. All right, so what did I say? If this, make a game over screen. So first thing is I'm going to need a new backdrop. I'm going to just go ahead and choose from a different backdrop. I'm going to choose that one. Why not? Alright, so I got that one. So I have Underwater 3. I'm going to make this say game over. You can add text here. Game over. Actually, how much time I got? 4 minutes. Game over. Alright. So game over, done. So here. So when it hits this, it already stops everything when it hits this bottom sprite. So I'm actually going to come to this sprite here, and actually this is where I'm going to start writing some codes. If events when clicked Control. Go ahead and put an if statement in there because you want to get an if statement. Sensing, you're touching watermelon. So if it is touching the watermelon, oh, I need to put, no, I don't need a forever loop in there. If it's touching the watermelon, looks, I do want it to hide. So you won't be able to see the red bar. And I'm going to do the same thing with this. Here. Looks high. I'm going to need a high. So if, let's see how I want this. That's the trampoline. Let's do the ball. If touching this, sprite 1 stop all. Looks hide. There we go. And I'm going back to my sprite 1 because this is where I want the main code. Looks switch to backdrop 3. I think that's all I need. Let's find out. Oh, why didn't you do what I wanted you to do? Next backdrop, let's try that. That didn't work. Oh, that's why. Show here. Alright, so once I hit it, it's still thinking it's hitting, so I have to make it show back up. Now it pops back up. So the watermelon. So there we go. Show there. Now it should go. Now it should switch backdrops. Stop. If touching watermelon, hide here. Play. Why doesn't it want to? Maybe this. It's not hiding. If touching watermelon, not hide. How did I do it last time? I haven't done it for the trampoline yet, Mr. J. What's that, Jacob? If this touching that, dadgummit. What is this? Backdrops. Order 3 scripts. Is interacting if touching watermelon. If that is true, forever hide. I think I know what to do. Oops, shoot, that's 11:01. We'll finish this up next class. I do got homework to do for myself, so, and I know a few of y'all have told me you got to study. I'll finish this up next class, and we'll move into Space Invaders, and then one more week of Scratch. One more week of Scratch, and then we will move into the Arduino stuff. And does that answer your question, Mr. Josh? Mr. Josh is asking if I play Minecraft. You want to see the Minecraft source code? Where is it? I gotta find it. Here. I'm from Charlotte. Well, I was born and raised here, that's why my accent is a little bit different. There it is. What do you think about Microsoft buying out Minecraft? Come on, load up. Alright. This is a Minecraft mod that I wrote up. Source code. Everybody just always wants to see the source code. Is it here? Here. Yep, this is it. And give me blocks. Where's blocks? There it is. Block class. And there's the source code for blocks. Every single block in the game is wrapped up in that code. One thing I will note, and this is Minecraft source code. This is the actual thing. This is what's his name, Mr. Parsons wrote and Chet wrote. Notice what he does here. He comments the crap out of his stuff. I really, really like the fact that he does this. And this is a professional here. The anvil sound. Actually, I looked into, I think it was